Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Well, good morning, welcome back. We're here on a bright Monday morning. We had a ton of rain last night. I was actually here all day Sunday burning brush piles and moving dirt, and so I was here all day long. Had a big old brush pile to burn. So the rain kind of calmed that down a little bit overnight, but it's still smoldering pretty good. Might try to ruffle it up this morning and get it rolling again. But we got quite a bit going on. We got a bunch of drop-offs today. So yeah, we got our hands full at the moment. So we'll see how it goes this morning, but hope everybody had a great weekend. I'm gonna go in here and see Brandon and Jen and see where our list is this morning. We're gonna get rolling. Let's go up here and check it out. All right, well, it's been an hour and a half maybe, I guess. I've been busy. Man, phone's been ringing off the hook today, and I've had a bunch of estimates I've had to get called and talk to people about that. And so I'm just now heading up here, and I had to go spread some gravel because we made a muddy mess yesterday, and all the rain we got has been ridiculous. But as you can see, I've been burning like crazy. So stirred that up a little bit this morning, got it going. But our first basement air is here. Mr. Lewis is up here looking at it at the moment. So I got to run up here right quick and see if I can take a look at this with him, and then we'll get it diagged. And then the boys are working on several projects. We'll go around, see what we got going on there. So let me take you in here and show you this basement air. All right, so this Winnebago Journey that you see Lewis crawled up underneath. Lewis, you did determine it did have a bad compressor 1.
Yes, sir.
And it's amping out at 45 amps on compressor 1. Now, this board is the new style board, and the more Lewis and I have looked at this unit, and I'm going to verify that when we get it out, this unit really doesn't look the age of the coach. So we're going to find out what's going on. The customer did put 2 new capacitors in there. We did check them, but it does have 45 amps on compressor 1. So Lewis is going to get this unit pulled out, and we'll get it on the test bench. So the next one that Brandon and I are looking at is this sales trailer that came in. And they're saying they've got some power issues. Now, the breaker box was hid back here behind all these shoes. Now, I'm going to show you something. As soon as I open this up, the safety ground is loose on this, so I'm going to straighten that up. We do have correct power here, but these thermostats right here, nothing's happening. We got no power right there. Now, this is kind of silly. And whoever did this, shame on you, because somebody sold this guy the wrong parts for this unit. What I mean by that is, so they've got 2 air conditioners in here, which they're running 2 10-button thermostats. Now, that thermostat is designed, each thermostat there is designed to run 8 air conditioners. So he's got the ability to run 16 air conditioners. Why would you do that when you have one thermostat for multi-zone that will actually run? That one thermostat would run both these air conditioners with no problem. But somebody was lazy and they sold them 2 high-dollar thermostats, which we call the blue light special. It just don't make no sense. So shame on you, whoever you are. But we've got no 12-volt power, so we're gonna have to back check that and see what's going on, and then we'll see where we're at with the 12-volt, because all these lights in here are 120 volts. Soon generator come on, these lights came on, but that still has to have 12 volts to run. Okay, so I've been looking everywhere for the 12-volt breaker box on this unit. Come to find out, they didn't install one when they built it. They put all the fuses down here. Now, look at that right there. That's a brand new battery. And so we don't have no 12 volts because whoever changed the battery didn't hook it up. So with that hooked up, everything works inside. Okay, so now that we've got that on there, let's go over here to our thermostat. we should be able to, and we got a blue light, which means it's a working. So just as simple as a battery cable. All right, well, good morning. It's like 3:15 in the morning, and this is the part of the business you guys don't get to see, so here you go. Alarm going off at the shop, so I had to meet the police up there to do a perimeter sweep of the property. So while everybody else is sleeping, I'm up here in the morning checking things out. So there you go, a little part of the business you guys may not see me do. So Mr. Lewis has got the basement there back in this Meridian. Now this was the one that we fixed the unit in last week, and then the customer actually bought us the unit to install. So right now we're reading 76 on a thermostat, and we've had it running here for a few minutes. So now we've got 76 and we're down to 56. So we're at our 20 degrees differential, so everything should be good now. So next project we got going on is this big Everest fifth wheel that came in with a floor that was falling out of the slide. And Mr. Lewis started on this late yesterday, but you can see how bad this floor is. There's not much left over there. This thing's been leaking obviously for a while. So he's gonna have to go in here, and some of this stuff's gonna have to be rebuilt to get it back where it needs to be. But you can see how bad this thing is. But it's obviously been leaking for a while. So they're gonna get a floor in that this morning. We'll show you some more as we go. Well, Lewis has been working a minute on this. Remember this floor, how bad it was. He's gone in there and got that rebuilt, and it looks like he bent some nice metal to kind of tie that together. So still working kind of right there. See what he's got going on there in a little bit. But he's got the plywood all laid up here, so I'm sure he'll be finishing that up here in a little bit. So I got this wind sport over here. We talked about it a couple videos back. It's been we worked on it over a year ago, and they brought it back a little frustrated, said stuff didn't work. Now again, it's been a year ago. Waited a long time to say something, but it does have the HWH slide out system, and the jacks work. I've got the jacks down. The bedroom slide works, but we cannot get the living room slide. The pump's coming on, but the slide's not going out. Let me take you inside and show you kind of what's got to happen here. So one of the things going on in this slide is this one actually has room locks. Now somebody's been in here. Look at that. They've taped the room lock up, which is kind of suspicious to me. Not sure why. It's hard to see, but it's done in there also. There's the controller. Obviously got the lock. And then that's what runs the pump. Now, I get the pump to come on, but the solenoids are not allowing the slide to work. Now, back in behind all this, there's a mechanism in there that has a little micro switch. Now, that micro switch, when those arms are out, the switch is made, and the only way that slide knows to go is when that arm is in, obviously, because it's got to be in to get out of the way of the wall. And so there's something going on with the electrical signal between there and the actual controller. Now, obviously we got to take all that out of there to be able to get in there to see what the heck's going on. But these people bought this, and of course, again, it's been over a year since I've seen it. So not quite sure what's going on. If something's, it could be as simple as the rats maybe have gotten underneath it and chewed up the wiring. Maybe the micro switch has failed. I really don't know. So we're going to have to dive into that. Obviously, we got to pull that one apart too. All that's got to come apart. And we got to get in there and start checking switches and wiring. All the fuses are good. But basically what's happening is when you push the button, the pump's coming on. But because that electrical signal, for some reason, is not making its way all the way through that switch, it's not allowing the solenoid valves down on the pump to open up and supply hydraulic fluid to the actual slide. So a little bit involved in that. I'm still kind of troubleshooting it, but there you go. A little difficult on HWH sometimes. So yes, it's that time of year again. All the brush got to be cut. Back here on this floor job Mr. Lewis has been working on, and you can see he's got this ready to go back in. Got the metal wrapped on it, got the sides all sealed up. So we went from that to that, so we'll be putting that in after lunch. Another project we're working here this morning is we've got the book bus in, and it originally only had one air conditioner, so we're adding a second air because it's just been terribly hot in this thing. So they've been in here this morning getting this all cut out. They've got the hole cut in the ceiling. They've got the framework installed in there, so they'll be getting this in, and they've got their metal clad already run back up here to the breaker box. So just a little bit more and they'll be done with this. Okay, so we're back on this slide room in here where we're having the HWH problems. Now, this is the controller that sits down on the floor, and there's some little contacts right here that have to touch this board. Little spring contacts. See little spring contacts right there? Notice this one is all messed up. One there's got problems. And so what happens is this sits down here and makes contact on this board. Well, the spring is obviously messed up to a point I can't fix it, and that fuse was blown. So I'm gonna have to call HWH and see about a replacement little board piece there so I can retest this. So I've had a lot of comments on last week's video about my campground. Now, I'm just doing a one-spot campground just for you folks traveling through who, you know, working on basement air, working on aqua hot, generator, something of that nature. Just a place for you guys to stop, and you know, you don't have to be out there in the middle of my shop. So I'm gonna kind of give you a quick tour because you'll see how much work I've done over here in the last 6 years that I've been on this property. So when I took this place over 6 years ago, all this was woods. In fact, right over in this area, there was like 32 old junk cars that the old owner pulled off the property before we actually took the property over. Now, there was a road right there that came into this ditch that went across that ditch right here into the woods. So all this was woods. So I cut down all the trees, took down everything, and all the dirt that was over in this area, because this was, you know, it was obviously high. We took all that dirt and pushed it down over here to make this parking lot, because I didn't have the place on the hill as of yet. So we moved all this dirt. I put in culverts right here. The boys actually parked over there for a long time. But yeah, I moved dirt and dirt and dirt for a long time. And kind of the nice thing about all this is all chert. So the chert makes really nice. I mean, once you get it packed down, it's like concrete, man. It rains a couple times, it's awesome. So we're able to clear that off. We used that for a long time. Now that we've moved up here on the hill, obviously expanding, and you can see that brush pile, that big brush pile's gone. Now we've got the road that we cut in, and we pulled that dirt, obviously, from back here. But now that we have that all done, and it's rained a couple times here, and so this chert has packed down really, really nice. And so I've got because I've got sewer and water down here, and it's all plumbed in already, but we don't have it up here into the campground just yet. So as you can see, this nice, we built this nice road coming around here, and then here's the new building, which we're going to pull the power basically off of right here. And then as you can see, this is where the campground's going to be. And this will be nice because it's close to the building, but obviously in the woods where, you know, we're not working. And so we'll have all this set up, and then that way you guys can be away from us while we're working on your unit. But you know, it's a nice wooded area. Wouldn't say it's terribly quiet, but you know, at least it's up here where you're not underfoot some days, because we got a lot going on, as you see in the videos, in that building right there. So then to exit out, which he'll be up here this week fixing this, but we'll exit out and then go back out around the building. Of course, you can see where all the trees are been knocked down over there, where I'm putting in the putting in the RV storage. So eventually I'll put in some little walking paths, I guess, over here, and you know, there'll be a place for the dogs to walk around. But yeah, it's just this is all stuff that's taken. I've been down at this other place 6 years, and this is all stuff we've been working on. This is my weekend projects, as you can see. So yeah, there's a lot goes on behind the scenes of what you guys actually see. But you know, I'm just another small businessman trying to make it in this world that we live in, and you know, it costs so much money. I mean, if you actually had somebody come out and do all this stuff, you'd have a lot of money. Fortunately, a lot of these guys that have this equipment have RVs, so I just end up trading a lot of it out with them, you know, to get machine time and stuff like that, which, you know, works good for me at the end. I'm up here on the weekends working anyways. I just need the equipment sometimes to do it. But there you go. There's a nice little overview of kind of what all I've been working on and what we got going on. And you know, next week hopefully David will be in here and we'll get all the sewer and the water and the power all pulled to the campsite, and he's going to get all that leveled and a little bit of gravel, and we'll be ready for our first camper, drive-through camper. Either way, we'll be ready. So there you go, quick little explanation on that. Next project on the list is this little tiny toy hauler. It's got roof problems, so we're going to start working on getting it under control. Mr. Lewis is working on the demo of it now. Okay, so back on a Mesa Ridge. We showed this one last week where the paneling had a problem inside here. Now the boys have started in on this one just a little while ago, and as you can see, they've got quite a bit tore out of here. But this thing obviously had some real bad rot going on, so they've got the old out, and so now they're getting ready to start measuring to start putting that in. Now obviously there was cabinets and all that. That's what you saw sitting back in the back here, but they're working now on trying to get all this pulled out so they can get it redone and the new paneling in. Okay, so you saw last week in the video, this bullet right here came in. It was missing a sink, and they just had a cooktop, but she wanted an oven. So we got with our friends at Suburban, and we got this nice Suburban cooktop and stove installed. We got this new kitchen sink installed, and we went to go do the water test, and when we did the water test, we found out that there was a split in the hot water heater. The hot water heater didn't get winterized correctly, so the hot water heater's busted, and the toilet valve on the toilet is broke. So I've got to get a quote to get all this replaced. All right, so another one we're in here quoting today is this Crusader fifth wheel that has had some rodent damage. Now I'm going to kind of show you what we found so far. As you can see, they've been in here eating on the pipe. That PEX where somebody's wrapped it's got rodent damage on it. Look at the pipes over there, been chewing on those. Hot water heater line, been chewing on those. So there's quite a bit of damage that we found just in here of mice damage. Now another one I'm going to show you right quick is this open range. This one came in with some floor issues. Floor's been leaking for a while. And so you can see where it's got a little bit of problem right there. That sucker is gone all the way across here. Can't hardly step on it. I mean, this whole thing's rotted. And back here in the back, it's got a problem right there also. But to do this the right way means this whole slide's got to come out. And we did pull up the furnace vent right there, and this is just a plywood floor. So we have aluminum framework in there, but all of this is pretty much rotted out, and everything underneath those chairs. So slide's got to come out, and then I don't know what we'll do. I don't know if we'll put a transition strip, because you're just asking for more problems getting into all that. I don't know if we're going to do a transition strip over there or how we're going to resolve this just yet. I'm just kind of quoting it to see, but that's real bad right there. But yeah, this is going to be quite the job to resolve. Just have to call the customer and find out what we're doing here. Well, getting late on Friday. We're getting finished up here at Shelburne RV. Now, that right there is a problem. Cousin Gary actually had a camper that got away from him yesterday. But now look at that, that's all InvisiShield. And it actually did a little damage right there. Of course, got that down there on the bottom, so it happens. Unfortunately, to fix that, we're going to have to pull all that InvisiShield off, which we are working with Wayne down at Ugly Shield in Fort Myers. We are looking to become a dealer for him. So, you know, we're going to get some good experience pulling that off because we got to fix that. So, it's the way it goes. You know, you get to see the good with the bad. It sometimes happens, and I can tell you Gary felt really bad about that. So, saying that, we're fixing to wrap up, get out of here. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. We're getting close to that 1,000 subscribers. Appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate all the comments that we had from last week. So you guys have a great weekend. That is not Cousin Gary approved, but this video is Cousin Gary approved. So thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next week.